Hey guys, gals, thanks for coming back. This time I'm showing you how I make these shipping containers, these futuristic kind of looking, very inexpensive, kit bashed together little crates. So these start with two square-like bottles. This particular one is a pure leaf. There it is, there's the label. So you start by, of course, peeling the label off of that. And then cut the neck off, and you got like so. And then the next part is you take the next bottle and you cut it at this middle point. Now, I've done a couple of these at this point, and I tried it with an X-Acto blade, and it was kind of a trick. That didn't work so well. But a hobby saw, a teeny little hand hobby saw, is the trick that gets it done. It's one of these bad boys. I recently got a new blade. I didn't know how dull my other blade was until I got this one. So it's important to keep an eye on your tools and know when to replace them because they do wear out. I'm going to cut the next piece of this. I will be right back. Alright, so here we have half cut. We have the whole detail on this one, half on this one, half on this one. So here's the trick. So we're going to put a split here, and then on the other side here. You can do this with a pair of scissors, you can do it with an X-Acto. I'm going to do it with a pair of scissors because on this particular design, it's pretty easy. See, it just boom, cuts right in, pretty simple. And then opposite from the corner, I'm going to do it again. So, now, this piece is going to go into this piece, and those relief cuts are going to allow it to go in. So just kind of carefully get that all to line up, and then just kind of gently pop. There it is, solid, pretty good. Now you may want to go in here and sand this down a little bit, or maybe just get an X-Acto blade in there and kind of scrape that edge off. The next step on this is pretty straightforward. I use cereal box strips, thin cardstock, to clad it with. And this step, I just hot glued it all the way around. Boom, boom, boom. And then as you're going through, I just kind of crease that as I go when it's still warm so that it takes on those little divots as well. And just go all the way around. I usually determine that the bottom, where this is going to match back up, that's usually the one I determine as the bottom, so that you don't see any kind of seam as it sits there. See, I did that on this one for two reasons. One, that's the one that's kind of ugly and a little wonky, and then that's where that crossover was. So that's there, right? So once you have this done up with this, hide the seam is what you're doing. Just kind of helps clean that up and hide it. Once you've got that done, you're going to be at a point where it is like that. Now, one more step that I like to do here is we take this hole punch. It's a wonderful little hole punch. It's a hobby hole punch, not a office hole punch. And you just get you a whole bunch of little discs. It's a decent way to use a bunch of your cut-off pieces. I like using as much recycled stuff as possible in this kind of craft. And then, there you go. You got all these wonderful little discs, right? So, now that we've got a handful of discs, just take the Elmer's glue. And we're just going to put a couple little dots here. I like putting one right there, and one right there. And then, I find that sometimes it's easier to use an X-Acto to just pick that up, place it, and this is just an implied function here. A lot of this kind of stuff I feel is all about what implying something does something. It doesn't have to literally do something. So these rivets are implying they're holding it together. Alright, so you're seeing that there's too much glue there, right? Just kind of touch that, just pick it up with your finger, and then recenter those if you gotta. And I got one more over here. I'm just gonna see. Doing it by hand is just a little bit more tricky. and then boom, just go all the way around, let that dry, usually dries pretty quick, and then paint it up, and there you go. So you're going to note this is a different container. So even though it's the same brand product, I got a different looking container, and now I'm going to have two of these kind of containers, and they're going to stack up just fine to give more height. If you wanted to like hide something big behind it, a walker or something, you can build pretty decent walls with this. You have motion where your troopers have to move all the way around it for some reason. Anyway, so there is a inexpensive shipping container. If you liked this video, you like the content, go ahead and, you guys know, you watch stuff like this. Share, subscribe, like. If you build one, if you make one of these things and you start using it in your table, you let me know. I'd like to see the pictures. I'd like to see how you do it. There's lots of videos on how to paint stuff. I'm not going to show you how to paint stuff. This is just a really quick one just to kind of make the details pop a little bit. But of course, dry brushing silver, adding rust effects, putting stickers on here for, you know, recognition of, hey, this is Whaling Corp or whatever company you want to put on there. But anyway, yeah, so there are some shipping containers. Thanks for tuning in. Please come back. You have a great day.